starting to work from the get-go, your productivity, the efficiency of your work will actually drop. I believe every single one of us knows and understands the importance of the banana method. I believe it's actually crucial for self-improvement. I think it's also quite self-explanatory. I'm going to put it strongly at an S tier. With Ashton Hall and self-improvement becoming more and more mainstream, people actually starting to perform morning routines, maybe at first for the meme. But as I said in one of my videos, the self-improvement memes are actually kind of based. Why don't we analyze those habits that he does or you might be doing, generally just morning routine stuff, to see which ones are actually worth doing in a nice consumable format like a tier list. Okay, let's start off with the classic, the face in cold water method. So funny story, I've never actually done any of this stuff. I've never actually done that until my brother wanted to make a video of himself doing that for like a meme, for like a TikTok or something like that. So I kind of tried it out and it's actually kind of cool. It's actually kind of good. It wakes you up really well. The ice and the cold water in your face actually releases adrenaline, which is good in the morning if you want that extra kick of energy. But overall, I believe that face in the water, that thing, I believe that just to be a lower quality version of the ice bath or cold shower that I'm gonna get into next. So let's now get into something else. For example, some people might be thinking, why do we even bother with the morning routines? Some people think, oh, I'm such a hustler. Well, I don't even believe in this morning routine garbage. Let me just start off and grind from the get-go. Just start, immediately wake up and grind. Now, the problem with this is it sounds really nice. It sounds really like based, masculine, things like that. But the problem is that you're skipping out on the actual morning routine habits, which are there to improve the quality of your work. For example, if you run, if you get sunlight in the morning, if you take a cold shower, you're gonna wake yourself up. Your brain is gonna, if you meditate, your brain is gonna be more efficient. So by starting to work from the get-go, your productivity, the efficiency of your work will actually drop. So as cool as that sounds, well, I'm gonna actually put it in D tier, because yes, you do get the extra work, but it's not as quality of a work that you could have if you kept your mind clean and focused through the other morning routine habits. Now, the next thing we're going to cover is the banana method, which you've probably seen on Ashton Hall's videos. I believe every single one of us knows and understands the importance of the banana method. I believe it's actually crucial for self-improvement. I think it's also quite self-explanatory. I'm going to put it strongly at an S tier. But in all seriousness though, memes aside, if you're actually wondering what the banana peel is supposed to do, it's supposed to reduce inflammation because of the enzymes in the banana. That is supposed to help you with skincare actually. If you struggle with like red shit all over your face, that is supposed to mitigate that. So all the high quality face medication actually uses natural ingredients like banana bits or oranges, I don't know. This is just skipping the process of making the medication and using natural resources such as the fruit to reduce inflammation in your face. Well, I've never actually done it. I've never actually practiced it. I don't believe it's a myth. I believe it has some truth to it, but I'm gonna put it in C tier because there are other things you can do for your skincare and I'm not smearing my face with banana. Next thing we're gonna do is Wim Hof breathing. Now, this one is very interesting and you might have not heard about it. I'm gonna just categorize it as breath work in general. So what this does, what this method is basically a very specific kind of breathing exercise, which allows you to practice your breath hold, immunity, cold resistance, and so on by holding your breath for like 1.5 minutes. And then 30 deep breaths, things like that. It takes like 15 minutes, but after the session is finished, you don't know what it is. Just for the sake of curiosity, I highly recommend you to research, to Google it, to just see on YouTube what Wim Hof breathing actually is. It's actually insane. It releases adrenaline at the end of the session, which is great for, waking yourself up in the morning. And another thing is, it has also this meditative element to it, where you focus on the breath exactly like you would do in meditation. So it's basically killing two stones with one bird, because you both get woken up faster in the morning and you practice focus at the same time. It takes 15 minutes, but it's very, very efficient. If you watched JoJo's ever, this is basically the real life version of Hamon. So let's move on to meditation. Meditation, as we all know, probably since we're on self-improvement, you've probably heard a lot about it, is basically the practice of training your focus. You try to focus on one thing, like your breath or the blackness behind your closed eyes, only to get distracted by a random thought, and then refocus on that thing you were trying to focus on in the first place. Now, meditation over time is so unbelievably broken for your focus. Most people who say they have ADHD are just simply brain rotted with the amount of dopamine they're consuming. And meditation is literally the antidote to most of that, unless you're like actually diagnosed with ADHD since childhood or something like that. But meditation can probably still help. I'm gonna put it in A tier just because Wim Hof breathing has that meditative element and it's just like meditation plus some other things. So I'm gonna put it at A. Now let's get to coffee. Coffee in the morning, first thing in the morning or something like that. It's strangely enough, if you look into the science of what caffeine does, you have receptors in your brain called adenosine receptors. Adenosine is the hormone that makes you sleepy and tired. It helps you basically fall asleep more easily, right? So naturally, you might think that drinking caffeine itself blocks out these receptors. You will immediately stop feeling any adenosine after you wake up. But that's not actually the case, weirdly enough, because it's only temporary. Because the receptors cannot clear out adenosine from your systems while caffeinated, then you're going to feel tired after caffeine runs out. So it's only temporary. You're gonna feel better in the morning. Wow, I've woken up so well. I feel so energetic. But in the middle of the day, your energy is going to drop. I drink coffee myself. I believe it's a super drug, but the best way to do it, the best way to time caffeine, because you need to time it to be efficient in the long run, I would recommend not to drink it for the first 2 hours after you wake up, so that your brain has time to process all this caffeine. And then you're not going to have so much of a drop later on. I'm going to put coffee in F tier, because it only works in the short term if you do it immediately. Okay, next on the list is going to be sunlight exposure, and I'm going to put it in B. Your brain and your eyes even need around 5 minutes of sunlight exposure to tell your brain that it's daytime and you're supposed to be behaving like it's daytime, right? So you have different modes of operation in your brain, like if it's night, you're gonna be more sleepy and things like that. Your testosterone also is higher in the morning, and it drops in the evening. I'm not exactly precisely sure how that works, but you could imagine how testosterone drops. The opposite is estrogen. Not sure if that's generated, but generally this is the explanation why you're more talkative in the evenings as opposed to the mornings. So telling your brain that it's daytime by seeing the sun for like 5 minutes, you don't need to stare at it, don't stare at it, you just need to be exposed to it. Basically tells your brain, okay, let's start off that testosterone production is early in the morning, we should act and operate as if it's in the morning, right? And then you're gonna live a normal, healthy day. I'm gonna put it in B tier because there are other things, such as like with Wim Hof breathing, that incorporate sunlight into it, so you're not wasting time by just standing there looking outside. That thing is running in the morning, which I'm gonna put at A. First thing I do personally in the morning before anything is Wim Hof breathing, but after that I go run, because breath work lets me run better because there's more oxygen in my body. And the thing with running is that it incorporates, if you run outside, of course, you get both sunlight exposure, so you can check that off even when it's cloudy. When you're cloudy, you just need more time in the sun to tell your brain that it's daytime. And let's say if you run for like 15 minutes, that's enough to wake your body up completely. No caffeine required, you're gonna have the energy, you're gonna tell your brain, yo, it's daytime, we should be working, we should be hustling, we're good, it's time to work. And running, being a difficult thing in the morning, actually has another hidden benefit to it. If you've heard the concept of eat the frog, you're probably going to understand what I mean. And what I mean by that is doing the most difficult thing, the most discipline needing thing in the morning actually makes the other things easier. So if the first thing, for me it's running, because it's like 15 minutes of physical exercise, right? In the morning when you're still kind of groggy. But it can be any other one of these for you. For example, meditation. Some people struggle with meditation because they believe it's a waste of time, which is their brain bullshitting them because it's not. And there is also this hope that, oh, I have more productive things to do, I need to work now, I'm not wasting time for meditation. But again, meditation just makes the work more productive and more high quality because your brain works better. So eat the frog. If running seems difficult to you, if it requires a lot of discipline for you and doing it first thing in the morning, I'm going to put it into A tier because that is going to steamroll your day. Next, cold showers. That's a tough one. A or S tier. I'm going to put it in S tier because it's very efficient. You don't lose any time because you would shower anyways. And even you save time because it's uncomfortable in the cold shower, right? So you kind of want to speed things up. But the actual benefit of the cold water, it's two main things. Adrenaline again, which wakes you up because, you shot your body in the morning, right? Self-explanatory. Then it increases your cold resistance, obviously. There is no drawback to that. Your metabolism as well, because it turns white fat cells into brown fat cells. One don't produce energy, the other only store it, and the other, the brown fat cells, both store the fat and burn it, right? So your metabolism also gains on that because you have more cells in your body that are basically responsible for turning calories into energy. And also it's a shower, so you know. Another interesting one is going to be manifestation. Now, manifestation, many people get it so wrong. I don't really buy that spiritual thing that you're gonna think of something and it's gonna magically manifest in your life. But I'm not saying that manifestation doesn't work. In fact, manifestation is actually kind of broken. It works completely different than you think. So there is this thing in your brain called automatic success mechanism. What it does is your brain wants to make real the scenario that you thought of, right? For example, if you think of picking up a pen, you don't need to manually move your hand to grab it. Your brain does it automatically for you because you send it a signal that you want to grab a pen. Same thing with any scenario. If you want to go on a date, you should visualize the perfect date that you've just had, and your brain will automatically want to put you in that space, in that scenario, automatically. If you want to go to the gym, you don't need to remember on your way how to get to the gym. You just tell your brain with the intention that you want to be in the gym, and your brain automatically just moves your legs. You don't think about it. You can be completely brain dead and still get to the gym because this is the automatic success mechanism. And the reason why I put it in D tier, even though it sounds completely broken, is because it basically doesn't do anything if you do it in the morning. This manifestation thing, the activation of your automatic success mechanism, should be ideally performed right as you're about to begin the action. Briefly visualize it as if you've succeeded already, and then your brain will want to fetch you that outcome. But in the morning, if you're not going to be doing anything that requires your 100% best potential, it's not really going to do much because it's more of an immediate system as far as I know. But if you know something else, you can correct me in the comments. For more information on this, because I've learned all about it from the book Psycho-Cybernetics, you can read it. It's a great read. One of the best books I've read on practical psychology. Another one, checking your messages. Now, this might be a controversial thing for me to put, but I'm going to put it on C. That is only depending on what kind of lifestyle you live. Because sometimes people say, oh, don't grab your phone early in the morning because dopamine, blah, 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 is going to hook you. Yeah, fair enough. That's why I'm not putting it higher. But checking your messages and still do your morning routine, you will have in mind what you already need to do in the day. For example, if you run a business like I do with online tutoring, you're going to see if you've got new clients, what they want, what time they want, so you can automatically in the back of your mind already plan it out. So depending on your lifestyle, it's either good or bad. I generally don't advise it, but for some people, depending on their lifestyle, it's actually very beneficial. And you're not going to be distracted if you meditate or do Wim Hof breathing after you do it, because that is going to reset your focus back to locked in mode, let's say. The next thing I'm going to put on this list is practicing your mannerism. Basically looking at yourself in the mirror and practicing how you speak, practicing how you act, practicing your body language. This is very overrated, so I'm going to put it at B. Because another thing that comes to mind when you think of this, and another method you might have not thought of, is smiling. You can go to the mirror and force a smile. Now, it sounds weird, but let me tell you something. When your muscles contract to make a smile, it releases the hormones that make you feel better. So it doesn't matter the reason why you're smiling, you're going to feel better if you smile, no matter why you're smiling. So forcing a smile in the morning will automatically put you in a positive mood throughout the rest of your day. Practicing social skills is also good. Maybe even self-hypnosis. If we factor self-hypnosis into this, I'm going to put it as at A, because self-hypnosis is basically you telling yourself that you are the traits that you want to have. For example, I am a hustler, I do hard work, especially when I don't feel like it. I'm confident. Because if you tell yourself this and you identify as these beliefs, your brain will automatically do your actions from the perspective of the person you've just described, which is honestly kind of broken, especially if you tell yourself you're a productive worker early in the day and you actually force that belief into you, is going to make your day very, very productive. Exercising in the morning, I'm gonna put it at B, just physical exercise, like push-ups and things like that. I'm gonna put it slightly lower than running, because from my own just simply personal experience, I've really thought running just wakes your body up slightly better. And have taken a walk. Actually, I'm gonna put it at C, because you can be alone with your own thoughts, and then you can let your automatic success mechanism do the work. For example, if you want to plan something, plan like intellectual work, analyze your work that you've been studying for and so on, then during a walk, if your brain is not occupied with this train of running or exercise, it can actually cook. I've explained this topic in another video of mine if you want to learn more about it. And if you combo it with like checking messages for like business work, you can automatically start thinking ideas for your business, because, well, you let your brain cook. Actually, then you also get the benefit of sunlight exposure. So I'm gonna put it at B. So that's it. I hope I made it clear which habits in the morning are valuable for what reasons. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more motivation and advice.